For years, as a mother in leadership, I had a habit that looked like strength. I call it being proactive, being prepared, being a high performer, being a strong leader, a good mother and wife. But what I was actually doing was running continuously threat simulation loops at work, at home, and in relationships. I was mentally rehearsing problems before they happened and attempting to manage outcomes that didn't yet exist. At the time, it didn't feel like a choice. It felt like leadership. It felt responsible. It felt like the best option available. What I didn't realize was that I had mistaken cognitive vigilance for leadership. My brain had become highly efficient at scanning for potential threats, anticipating future scenarios, and carrying responsibility long before action was required. And not because something was wrong with me, but because it was a pattern I had practiced thousands of times. The shift happened when I received the right support, and I learned something that changed everything. Those thoughts were not my identity. They were not my personality, and they were not the only way to lead. They were simply neural pathways strengthened through repetition. The brain strengthens the pathways it uses most and gradually weakens those it no longer relies on. This is neuroplasticity. Once I identified this self-sabotage pattern, I began noticing how often I was reinforcing it without even realizing it. Every time I mentally managed a future that didn't happen or hadn't happened yet. Every time I carried responsibility that was not mine. Every time I treated uncertainty as a problem that needed immediate resolution. My brain never received evidence that the threat had passed because I was continuously generating the next threat. And that came at a cost. I wasn't protecting my executive capacity. I was consuming it before the day had even begun. And this is not positive thinking. This is not mindset work. This was the beginning of reconstruction. And I learned a new way, a different way to lead. A way that worked with my biology instead of against it. As the pattern changed, my experience changed. The 3 a.m. wake-ups became less frequent, my thinking became sharper, my energy became more consistent, and I stopped feeling like I had to carry every possible outcome in my head at all times. What I discovered is that many executive mothers are not exhausted by what has happened, but by the volume of futures they are attempting to manage simultaneously. And the greatest drain on executive capacity is often not the workload. It's the ongoing cognitive cost of managing problems that have not occurred. Today, through Executive Reset, I help mothers in leadership identify and reconstruct the hidden patterns quietly consuming their cognitive capacity. Because most women don't need more discipline or to push harder. They need to stop reinforcing those patterns that keep their highest level of performance inaccessible. The Executive Reset is designed to help executive mothers reclaim at least 5 hours of cognitive bandwidth every week so they can lead, think, and perform at the level their responsibilities requires. I have a question for you. What if the exhaustion you're trying to solve isn't coming from your workload, but from the number of futures you're managing every day without realizing it?